Most people think that winning is about fixing everything around them, their job, their routine, even other people. But they're missing the real battle. The real battle is the one that's happening inside their own head. The power to win, in literally any situation, it's not about changing your circumstances. It's about training your mind so that nothing out there has the power to break you in here.
Just let that sink in for a second. That's the entire game in one sentence. When your thinking is weak, every single emotion, frustration, anxiety, fear, it gets to take a turn at the steering wheel of your life. But when your mind is trained, oh, you are in the driver's seat. You get to decide where you're going. So take a look at these. Which one of these feels a little too familiar? On the left, you've got the untrained mind. It's just reacting to everything, it's scattered, it's exhausting, right? And on the right, you have the trained mind. It's sharp, it's steady, it's in control. Now, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making that shift from chaos to clarity. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now, how to get from the left side of this picture to the right.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to dig into the trap of the untrained mind. Then, we'll talk about how to achieve what we call the first-hour victory. From there, we'll get into building real daily discipline, and finally, we'll put it all to the test and see how you can win when you're under pressure.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the untrained mind's trap. See, most people lose before they even start because they're fighting the completely wrong battle. They think the enemy is somewhere out there, but really, it's just their own unstructured thinking.
And this is what that looks like. It's called the passive mind, and it's the default setting for almost everyone. I mean, think about it. You wake up, you grab your phone, and bam! Instantly, you're flooded with other people's problems, other people's agendas, their anxieties. You're not actually starting your day, you're just reacting to everyone else's. A mind that's in this state isn't leading, it's being led. And a mind that's being led can't win.
So if the passive mind is the problem, what's the first step to fixing it? Well, it starts right here, in Section 2, the first-hour victory. I want you to think of your morning not just as a routine, but as the most important battleground of your entire day. If you win this first hour, you set yourself up to win everything else that follows.
So why this hour? What's so special about it? Well, when you first wake up, your brain is at its most suggestible, its most programmable. What you feed it in those first 60 minutes basically sets the code for the rest of your day. So, if you feed it social media, news alerts, and emails, you're programming your brain for distraction, you are making a choice right then and there whether your mind is going to work for you or for somebody else.
So how do you win it? It's a really simple three-step plan. Number 1, you have to actively set your thoughts. You decide the mindset you're going to have today. Number 2, and this one is the big one, no distractions. This is non-negotiable. The phone stays off. No emails, no news. And number 3, review your plan for the day. Get crystal clear on what actually matters before the world has a chance to come in and confuse you.
And this quote just gets right to the heart of it. Strength isn't something you just have, it's something you have to build. And you don't build it by letting life push you around. You build it by grabbing the reins of your own mind and leading it where you want it to go.
All right, on to Section 3, building daily discipline. Winning the morning is an incredible start, but real, lasting mental strength, well, that's forged in the consistent and, yeah, sometimes boring work that we have to do every single day.
This kind of discipline is really built on 3 fundamental pillars. You got to protect your focus, you have to intentionally choose discomfort, and you must finish what you start. These aren't flashy tricks, They're the absolute bedrock habits of a trained mind. So let's break down that first one.
Let's get really clear on something important. Busy is not the same as focused, not even close. Being busy is just scattered energy. It's your mind jumping from one thing to the next, and it feels like you're working hard, but you're not actually getting much done. Focus is totally different. It's quiet, it's clear, and it's locked in on the one thing that actually matters. That's where real results come from.
Okay, the second pillar is about totally flipping your relationship with discomfort. Like the quote says, discomfort isn't something to avoid, it's the gym for your mind. You can't get stronger by staying in your comfort zone. Real strength is built only when you intentionally do the hard thing, when you make that call you've been dreading, or hit the gym when you don't feel like it. That's where all the growth happens.
And that third pillar? Finish what you start. Look, anyone can start something new when they're feeling motivated and excited. But winners are defined by their ability to finish, even long after that feeling is gone. Every single time you finish a task, no matter how small, you are building trust in yourself.
Self-respect doesn't come from what you say you'll do. It comes from what you prove you can do.
So all of this brings us to our final section, winning under pressure. Because really, this is what it's all for. The morning routine, the daily discipline, all of it is just preparation for that moment when life inevitably hits you and hits you hard.
So just take a second and be honest with yourself. When things go completely sideways, what's your default setting? Do you react with panic, with anger, with frustration? Or do you respond with a pause, a breath, and a clear thought? Your answer to that question reveals everything about the current state of your mental training.
And this is the difference in action. Reacting is pure impulse. It's emotional, it's driven by fear, and it's where you lose all control. Responding, that's a conscious choice. A trained mind creates just enough space between the thing that happens and your action. A tiny moment to pause, think, and then act with a strategy. That tiny bit of space is control.
So how do you actually create that response when things are blowing up? It comes down to a simple mental drill. First, just pause. Breathe. Create that space. Second, challenge the story your fear is telling you. Is it really 100% true? Third, find your anchor. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can control right now? And finally, just take one small action. Any forward movement breaks the paralysis of panic.
Ultimately, this is the skill you're building. Calmness is not weakness. It is not passive. It's an active strength. It's the ability to stay sharp and balanced when everything around you is pure chaos. It is the absolute highest form of mental control. And as we wrap this up, please remember this. Mastery doesn't come from finding some new secret or some clever trick. It comes from the relentless, daily repetition of these basics, over and over, until they just become automatic.
So let's just boil it all down to 3 core actions. Number 1, win your first hour. That sets the tone for everything. Number 2, build your daily discipline on those 3 pillars: focus, discomfort, and completion. And number 3, when the pressure hits, you train yourself to respond, not react. That's the entire framework.
And never ever forget this. The world you experience on the outside is just a reflection of the world you're building on the inside. Your thoughts literally create your direction. And one last, really critical point here. This is not about becoming perfect. Your old habits, your old ways of thinking, trust me, they will knock on your door again. Winning isn't about them never showing up. Winning is about knowing exactly how you're going to respond when they do. It's about making a better choice, one moment at a time.
And so we end right here with a question for you. This knowledge is only powerful if you actually apply it. The real work starts now. So what's the one thing you will choose to do tomorrow to begin training your mind to win?